Welcome back to the channel Beyond Travelers. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a couple tips that I wish I knew before traveling to foreign countries. These are some things you might want to make sure you check off before you go, and some things that I wish that I knew before I traveled. That way I could avoid the hassle. So I hope you find some benefit in this video. Let's get into it. First off, whenever you travel, make sure you have locks on either your backpack or your suitcase. I even put an extra one on my day pack because I'm walking around with this and people are seeing it. They might think I have something valuable in my backpack. But I have a lock on there. I don't get the ones with the keys. I get the ones with the little dials that you make a code to. This way you don't have to worry about if you lose the key, then you're kind of SOL. But I have personally heard about people who wish they did have locks on their stuff because unfortunately some of their valuables got stolen. If they see that you have a lock on your backpack, even if you're not there, they're less likely to take it. And while we're also talking about bags and what you should do with them, you should also make sure that you bring one of these. Making sure that your valuables are safe on you is the most important thing you want while traveling. You want to make sure it's on you, it's secure. And then instead of keeping it around my waist like this, I put it underneath my shirt. This way, you can't see it, no one knows that I have anything on me. So while I definitely recommend getting a fanny pack before you travel, I'd also recommend that you get something like this that's very sleek, very thin. Also on the back here, it's got absorbent materials. So this way, if you do put it underneath your shirt and you start sweating throughout your day, it'll absorb the sweat. And it's never fallen off me or torn, so definitely make sure to pick up one of those before you travel. Tip number 2, make sure you download your offline maps. Google Maps is pretty much going to be the only thing you use when it comes to navigation in another country. In these other countries, it is a lot more frequent for there to be dead spots. What you want to make sure you do is that you download offline maps. And what this allows you to do is save certain areas of the map that you know you're going to be in. And it makes sure that even if you don't have internet, it still allows you to access the routes on how to get to where you want to go. How you want to do this is you want to go to your Google Maps and you want to click the little button in the top right corner with your profile picture. And right away you can see where it says offline maps. You click that, and if you don't have anything saved, you won't see anything in the downloaded maps. You'll see at the top here where it says select your own map. And what this does is that it allows you to zoom in or zoom out of wherever you want to have downloaded on the map. Personally, I like to download as much of the map as possible. This way, if I go somewhere else, I meet some people and we take off, I'll know where I'm going and how to get back. Another little tip about Google Maps that helped me is pinning your locations on where you're gonna go. Whether it's the location of your hotel, Airbnb, restaurants, some nature reserve that you wanna go walk through, it helps to save those in your Google Maps as well. So this way you know exactly where you need to go. Now, tip number 3 is going to sound a little bit controversial, but make sure to dress appropriately. When I traveled to Egypt, I was with a big group of people and we went to many different locations all over Egypt. And we all knew that we were definitely being targeted. We saw a lot of the same people staying close to us, walking around us. Thank God we were a big group of people, so they didn't do anything. But I definitely could tell by the way most of the group was dressed that it attracted a lot of attention. If you're wearing a lot of fancy jewelry, high fashion clothes, it can attract a lot of unnecessary attention. Especially when it comes to the revealing nature, because other countries are more conservative. And there's nothing wrong with that. Here in these other countries, it's not so common. The last thing you want to do is just make yourself a target. So I would just recommend being cautious, making sure that you're not putting yourself out there to be put in the wrong situation. Now, tip number 4 is gonna kind of go along with the fanny pack idea, and that is to separate your money. What happens when you withdraw a couple $100s in a foreign currency, you're obviously gonna get a lot more bills than you would if you were to just take out a couple $100s in your modern country's currency. You don't wanna be walking around with all that money because just like when it comes to the clothes, it's gonna attract a lot of attention. If you go to a restaurant or you're on the street buying something from a vendor and you pull out a giant wad of money just trying to find the smallest bill to pay them, there's already gonna be so many people looking at you. What I like to do is I like to actually bring a separate envelope, or if you've got a safe in your Airbnb or wherever you're staying at, you can do this as well. What you wanna do is kind of calculate how much you think you're gonna spend. Let's say you pull out $300 and you plan on only spending maybe $50 for the day. All the other money, put in the envelope, put in the safe, hide it somewhere where if someone does come in your room, they're less likely to find it. I remember in Puerto Vallarta, I would put my money in the closet on the very, very top of the shelves where nothing else is at. So you're looking up, you can't see anything, you don't know it's there. If you could hide it in the ceiling, go for it. But just make sure it's out of sight so that way if anyone comes around, this way they're less likely to find an envelope full of money that they can just take off with. And if you have a safe in your room, that's gonna be your best bet. Also, when it comes to walking around with money, make sure that you bring change, and obviously more than just this. A lot of places do not have change. They don't. Even the bus drivers don't have change. There's been so many times where I've gotten on buses and I didn't have the exact change and someone I was with fronted me the change, or I had to wait until someone got on the bus and I had to ask them if I could swap out my dollar bills for change. And again, that's you pulling out your money on a public bus. It's gonna attract a lot of eyes. Even going in stores that are in touristy locations, buying things in there, those vendors don't have change a lot of the time. So separate your bills and bring change. Now the last tip here is to make a copy of your passport. Yes, this has saved me in a situation where I was unfortunately grounded by police officers. They asked for my identification and I gave them a copy of my passport. If they have my passport, I would have to go with them because I need to get my passport back. I need it. But because they only have a copy of my passport, I'm not as inclined to do whatever they tell me to do. Obviously, I got out of that situation, but it was pretty intimidating having two police officers, one grabbing you, telling you to come with them, the other one saying, yeah, you gotta come with us, trying to ask if you have anything on you that's illegal and wanting to search you. It's just something that may come across to you in your travels, very unlikely. And if you're carrying around a copy of your passport, obviously that means you should be keeping your current passport in the safe back at your hotel, your Airbnb, or hidden away so someone doesn't steal it. That's gonna be it for the video, guys. If you like this type of content, please let me know in the comments down below. Like and subscribe. And let me know if you want to see more videos like this. I really want to start hearing what you guys want to see. I want to be able to address any topics that you might have that may help you out in your travels. So let me know. Thank you so much for watching this video, and let's go beyond life in the next one.